Fellow Biafrans, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from, and depending on your location. Today's date, today is the 3rd of August, 2023, and I'm reaching to you live from my location, and I want to welcome you to today's broadcast. Welcome, please. As you join us, you like, you share, so that other people can get the notification and join in today's broadcast, because it's not going to be long. Please, if you come in, you like and share. Welcome, fellow Biafrans all over the world. I want to really appreciate any one of you who is joining. Okechukwu, Ignatius, Udoka, you're welcome, you're joining. Thank you for liking. I want you to as well share. Yes, thank you so much for joining me. Today, as a matter of fact, fellow Biafrans all over the world, today is the 4th day of our 2-week sit at home. And it is very, very imperative or very important that most of our people who don't know actually why we are sitting at home, or why the Biafran Republic government in exile asked Biafrans to sit at home in our homeland. If you know you want your freedom, if you know you want to end the slavery, if you know you want to end the subjugation of Biafrans in that country called Nigeria, you must have to join and sit at home. You must not only sit at home, you must encourage others to as well sit at home. It is very, very important, fellow Biafrans, because if you don't sit at home, you are not sitting at home for David. You are not sitting at home for our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. You are not sitting at home for Biafran Republic government in exile. You are sitting at home for your own freedom. You are sitting at home to end slavery in Biafran land. You are sitting at home so that the terrorists will not have any power, will not have the will to come and kill you in your home. And it's very important also that we remind Biafrans the reason why we have 2 weeks sit at home. As a matter of fact, for two years, we have Monday sit at home. And this Monday sit at home has been for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, whom the courts have freed. Yet, he has not been allowed to go home. He has been kept in dungeon without any reason for that. So for 2 years, the Biafran people have been sitting at home. And it looks as if, the government is not feeling the impact. And that is why the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and Biafran Republic government in exile opted for 1 week sit at home. And after 1 week sit at home, all hell will break loose. But yet, they have not released Nnamdi Kanu. So now we have pushed it to 2 weeks sit at home. At the end of this 2 weeks sit at home, if Nnamdi Kanu is not released, if Nnamdi Kanu is not freed, another measures are going to be taken against the Nigerian state. As a matter of fact, I want to remind Biafrans the reason for this 2 weeks sit at home. Number one is for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike one of Biafra land. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya, extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria in 2021. And up till now, he has been kept in detention, in solitary confinement. So we are demanding for his unconditional release. Number two reason why we are asking for 2 weeks sit at home. We are using it as a self-referendum to prepare Biafrans for a self-referendum that will be conducted by the Biafran Republic government in exile, prime ministered by Mazi Simon Ekpa, to show how prepared we are to exit Nigeria. Number three reason why we are sitting at home is to invalidate the legitimacy of those who parade themselves as our governors, our representatives from the Biafran territory. And number 4 is to demonstrate to the international community that the Biafran people are ready to take their destiny into their own hands. That is the number 4 reasons why we are sitting at home. The number 5 is to demonstrate to the Nigerian government and the international community as well that the Biafran people now have a government which they listen to. And that is the Biafran Republic government in exile, prime ministered by Mazi Simon Ekpa, and the de facto government in our homeland. These are the 5 major reasons why you are sitting at home. These are the 5 major reasons why you must sit at home. If you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released, you have to sit at home. You have to really show that really you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Okay? But if you want to stop the sit at home, please, we are asking you if you want to stop the sit at home. Okay, no problem. You want the sit at home to end, right? No problem. Let your father or your brother or your uncle or your husband or any of your relations to go to the DSS custody and replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu so that the sit at home will stop automatically. Even if your father or your brother or your relation or your husband goes and replaces Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafran people does not know him, so Biafran will not be sitting at home. Automatically, Biafrans will not sit at home for your uncle or your husband or your brother or any of your relation that is going to the DSS custody to replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's a welcome development so that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out so that your brother will be in the DSS custody. Okay? That is the reason we are sitting at home. And if you want to stop it, somebody else from your family should go and replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. So we are calling on Haneze. Iwu Anyanwụ. We are calling on Iwu Anyanwụ. We are calling on Hope Uzodimma. We are calling on Peter Mba. We are calling on Soludo. We are calling on Oti. We are calling on all these Iberibe, Abaribe, all these political fools in the southeast. Go and replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. Then nobody will be sitting at home. That is the only remedy for the stoppage of that sit at home. Okay? Because the reason why Biafran people are sitting at home every Monday and these 2 weeks sit at home because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention and he has not been released. That is why Biafrans are sitting at home. So if you want him to be released, let your father, your husband, your brother, your uncle go and replace him in the DSS custody so that nobody will be sitting at home. Having said that, I want to talk about Barrister Ejimakor, Sabo Ntikes, and the end of Nigeria. Barrister Ejimakor was once a special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister Ejimakor was praised by Biafrans, by doing good works in relation to the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As a matter of fact, all the positive outcomes of the international cases that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has against the Nigerian government all the positive outcome was an achievement by Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. We acknowledge that, and Biafrans were also praising him for what he was doing. But unfortunately, Biafrans never know that Barrister Aloy Ejimakor was being used by the Nigerian government in order to gain ground, to have sympathy for him, for Biafrans to really appreciate him, to have sympathy for him, and then for him to be used at the last minute of the struggle, to derail the struggle. If you go to Barrister Aloy Ejimakor's tweet 3 weeks back, you will understand that every blessed day or 2 days interval, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor will come out and be tweeting, telling us on the news that if the Nigerian government want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or want the sit at home to stop, that they should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has been writing, he has been tweeting, and people were praising him for being that consistent, for being consistent in fighting for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor was doing a very nice job, and Biafrans were praising him, including the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Everybody was praising him because he was doing the right thing at that particular time. Because, you know, before then, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who said he is the most trusted of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when Simon Ekpa exposed him, Biafrans now know that Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor was part of those who kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, he made his own confession, where he said that he was among those that brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, during extraordinary rendition him to Nigeria. So Biafrans now saw Barrister Ejiofor as part of those who kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they left Barrister Ejiofor, and now we are supporting Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, because then Barrister Aloy Ejimakor and Barrister Ejiofor were not in good times, because while Barrister Ejimakor was doing a nice work, then Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor was antagonizing and doing the dirty job. Now that Biafrans left Barrister Ejiofor, Nigerian government now focused on Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Now, last 2 weeks, you see Barrister Aloy Ejimakor came out and told us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had cancelled sit at home. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have instructed Mazi Simon Ekpa to cancel every sit at home. And he even went further to tell us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has instructed that Simon should not antagonize, Simon should not be fighting the political leaders from the southeast. This is in the tweet or in the letter that Barrister Ejimakor said our leader sent to him, for him to be sent to Simon. And you begin to wonder, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have never been in good terms with the political players from the southeast. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been always at loggerheads with those political leaders who are parading themselves as the leaders from the southeast. As a matter of fact, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has nothing in common with them. And Barrister Aloy Ejimakor knows this, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the onset, as a matter of fact, in 2017, it was the political leaders, those same governors, these same senators, that connived with the Nigerian government, the military, and sent the military to Afarukwi Beko, the house of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, to go and assassinate him. This is the handwork of the southeast politicians, the governors, and all the rest of them. So they couldn't succeed in killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu escaped his dear life. Now today, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor want us to believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has given instruction for Simon Ekpa to cancel sit-at-home and as well support the Southeast politicians in the quest for whatever they are doing. That Simon should not antagonize them, that Simon should not be fighting the Southeast governors. And you as a Biafran, if you have your senses intact, you will know that in this letter there is a red flag. There is a red flag because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never ever supported the Southeast governors. As a matter of fact, the problem, the situation that we are passing through in Nigeria today from the Southeast is as a result of the actions and activities of these Southeast governors. So you begin to wonder, how can Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been at loggerhead with the Southeast governors, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom the Southeast governors wanted to eliminate, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom the Southeast governors planned and brought the python dance 1, 2, 3 to his homes. How can now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be telling Mazi Simon Ekpa and Biafrans to support the Southeast governors against Simon Ekpa? How? So if you are a Biafran, you think about this. How possible is that? And let me tell you, when this letter came out, the real IPOB under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu know actually well that this letter never emanated from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We were aware, everybody was aware that this letter was a concorded letter by the Nigerian government. And when you look at the time or the day Barrister Ejimakor was reading this press release came out from Enugu State. After a Barrister Ejimakor went to Enugu State in search of the governor of Enugu State. And how come that Barrister Ejimakor left Abuja, went to Enugu State in search of governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba. And after meeting with Peter Mba, that same day he came out and told us that our leader sent him a letter. And the letter is that we should stop the sit-at-home. It's coming from Enugu State, not from the DSS custody. Not that the Ejimakor just came out from DSS custody from seeing our leader and granted a press interview. Okay? It didn't happen. He went to Enugu State in search of Mba to talk to Mba, and immediately after speaking with Mba, Peter Mba of Enugu State, who have been fighting to stop the sit-at-home. After speaking with Peter Mba, he now came out and told you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sent a letter, and that this letter should be given to Simon, and that Simon should stop everything he is doing against the sit-at-home, and he should stop the sit-at-home. And you begin to wonder, how possible is that? How possible can Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been incarcerated for 2 good years, and there is nothing that is on the table about his release? Even when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows that the courts have released him, yet the Nigerian government and the Southeast politicians are holding him hostage. How now is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu going to be comfortable in the DSS custody? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have now accepted his fate in DSS custody, and that yes, DSS custody is okay for him, and that what Biafrans are doing in order to free him are no longer good for him, that he wants to remain in the DSS custody. That is actually what that letter, if Biafran should follow it, means. Because what is the essence of stopping the sit-at-home? Why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released? What is the extent of working with the Southeast governors when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself told you that the Southeast governors are part and parcel of the problem that you are facing in Biafra today, in the Southeast today? We don't have good roads, we don't have pipe-borne water, we don't have electricity, we don't have good schools, we don't have industries. You don't have seaports. Name it. You don't have nothing. And Southeast governors are responsible for all these abnormalities in the Southeast. And now, Aloy Ejimakor wants us to believe that with all these anomalies, all these problems that the Southeast governors and the political elite from the Southeast have imposed upon Biafrans, no light, no good road, no electricity, no good school, no industry, no seaport, no airport, all these things. How is now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to accept his fate that we should embrace Nigeria? That is actually what that letter is talking about. So, fellow Biafrans, I want you to really think deep. For most of you people, for most of our people who believe that that letter emanated from the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, that means you don't know who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never go against Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never work with the Southeast governors. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never romance the oppressors. It is practically impossible. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot tell you that Hope Uzodinma is doing a good job. He cannot tell you that Iwanyango is doing the right thing. Neither will Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tell you, encourage you to support Pitamba or Soludo or Hope Uzodinma for that matter. But actually, this is what the letter Ejimakor told us. This is what the letter is talking about. The letter is telling us that we have to embrace the Southeast governors. The letter is telling us that we have to stop the sit at home. The letter is telling us that Mazi Simon Ekpa should hands down and should not fight for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what the letter is talking about. And it is left for you, Biafran, as a brain, as a Biafran whose brain is hot, as a Biafran who can understand, who can read between the lines, for you to believe that that letter came from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it means that your brain is not working. For you to even think about it, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will, in his widest imagination, call for the heart of the sit at home, or that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will ever in this life tell you to support Hope Uzodinma, Soludo, Pitamba, or Ifeanyi Oba, or Asari Dokubo, or the DOS saboteurs against your freedom. That means you, as a Biafran, your brain is not working. So, but let me tell you what happened. What happened in this case is that the Nigerian government pressured Aloy Ejimakor. They have paid Aloy Ejimakor, they have paid him off because they know that the Biafran people no longer see Ejiofor as a leader, as a lawyer to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Biafran people no longer take his words because Mazi Simon Ekpa has exposed Ejiofor. Even Ejiofor has exposed himself. By his confessions, Biafran people have been wise. Biafran people are wise, have been able to see the other side of Ejiofor, that Ejiofor is part and parcel of those who are killing our commanders, our volunteers, and as well working with the Nigerian government to point fingers at people who are fighting for their freedom. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, with members of the DOS, sent terrorists to go to Finland to attack Mazi Simon Ekpa. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor is working with the Nigerian government, with the Southeast governors and the senators to make sure that they derail or they stop the Biafran Restoration Project. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor is also the legal team with Michael Zokome that have made it impossible for our leader to access medical attention before now. So Biafran people have been able to put 2 plus 2 to know that it is 4. They have been able to reason critically and know that Ifeanyi Ejiofor is part and parcel of the actions and activities of the Nigerian government against our leader and against our restoration. That is why the Biafran people no longer listen to Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Now, the Nigerian government, having seen this, having known that, and coupled with the exposition of Mazi Simon Ekpa concerning Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, they now shifted their attention to Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, because Aloy Ejimakor was the only one standing. Okay? They gave Barrister Aloy Ejimakor time to get the mind, the confidence of Biafrans, because they know that Biafrans can always listen to him. Because 2 weeks back, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor was sending tweets every blessed day concerning the plight of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, telling the world on the need for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released, telling the Nigerian government that they have disobeyed court order, that they have committed international crime, that they have committed all manner of crimes against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So Biafrans, we are listening to him. So now, the Nigerian government capitalized on that and pressured Aloy Ejimakor, coupled with some, in Nigeria, elephant can fly, with promises of houses, with promises of money, and all the rest of it. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor have to go to Enugu State to meet Mba, who is the newest governor, who just came. He could not do any other thing. He could not focus on the activities or on the manifesto that he has from Enugu State. No. His first line of action is to stop the cheat at home. So Barrister Aloy Ejimakor went to Enugu State to see Mba, and immediately after seeing Mba, they have to pressure him at least at gunpoint, because when you watch that video of Aloy Ejimakor reading the statement or reading that forged letter, you will see how he was breathing. And if you are an investigator, if you are into investigative journalism, or if you see people who commit crime, when they are being interrogated, from their actions, from their breathing, from their utterances, from how they react to issues, you can be able to ascertain that yes, this person is under pressure, or that somebody is somewhere pointing gun at him, or that this script he was reading was actually written for him by the masters. Okay, that he was playing a script. So mainly listening, mainly looking at Aloy Ejimakor reading that letter, you will know with the body language, with his breathing, you will know actually that Barrister Aloy Ejimakor was under duress to read that letter to Biafrans. So that Nigerian government thought that if Aloy Ejimakor reads that letter, that Biafrans will now obey him, because he was the last one standing. Okay? Not knowing that Biafrans are wise. Biafrans are wiser than people think. Every Biafran can now understand that that letter never came from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And to crown it all, when you go to social media, check all the people who have shared that letter of Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. All the profile people who have shared that letter are those who have been doing everything humanly possible to stop the tit at home. Those who have been supporting the governors and the Nigerian state to kick against the sit at home. These are the same people that shared every of that letter that was read by Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Even the governors talked about it. The governors now told you, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have cancelled the sit at home. They make reference to that letter of Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Okay? The Nigerian government, the news media, newspapers, every blessed day they tell you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have cancelled the sit at home. They made reference to that letter as well. That tells you that they are the ones who corrupted that letter for Barrister Aloy Ejimakor to read to the Biafran people, to put Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa at loggerheads in order to try to blackmail the Biafran people. against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and against Mazi Simon Ekpa. This is actually the last script they played. And it is quite unfortunate that a lot of people, or I will not say a lot of people, because few people only bought that idea. And those people who bought that idea are those who have been there antagonizing, blackmailing the movement for a very long time. The Nigerian government, the state governments, the Southeast governors, the political leaders, the senators, including this Iberibe senator, Enyinna Iberibe Abaribe. These are the people who want you to believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cancelled the sit-at-home. And do you know why every one of them is fighting about this sit-at-home? Because this sit-at-home is hurting them. Recently, the salaries of these senators, all these political leaders, was released by the Prime Minister of Biafran Republic government, Mazi Simon Ekpa. You find out that Ejimakor Abaribe every month goes home with no less than 9 million naira. Every month, every blessed month, every senator in Nigeria not less than 9 million naira every month. Whereas your minimum wage as a Nigerian or as a Biafran working for the Nigerian government, your minimum wage is 30,000 naira. 30,000 naira. That is the money they pay you every month. Whereas Senator Iberibe Abaribe, the governors, the senators, the representatives, they go home every month with over 9 million naira in their account. They are the ones crying so louder than you. They tell you, oh, the Southeast is suffering. The economy is this. Our people cannot go to farm. Our people cannot go to market. Our people don't have anything to eat. They are crying more than you. You know why they are crying? Because they are trying to protect their own investment. They are trying to protect the source of their loot and their criminality, which is Nigeria. These are the people that can never stop the restoration of Biafra. So if you follow them to propagate this blackmail, if you follow them to blackmail Biafran people or blackmail Simon Ekpa, you are blackmailing yourself, because Simon Ekpa is fighting for you. Simon Ekpa is not fighting for me alone. He is fighting for you. And it's better you know that you are fighting for yourself as well. Because when Biafra comes, Ejimakor Iberibe Abaribe cannot be taking home 9 million naira every month. Whereas you, as a Biafran, you are taking only 30,000 naira. You see? It cannot happen. That is why they don't want you to support the restoration of Biafra. That is why they're doing everything humanly possible to sabotage the Biafran movement. That is why they are planning how they are going to go to Finland and attack Mazi Simon Ekpa, because they actually don't want you to stop that money that is coming to the account every month, over 9 million naira. Can you imagine? Whereas you, as an ordinary Biafran, you only go home with 30,000 naira. That is not even enough to take care of your family. It's not even enough to pay your rent. It's not even enough to pay your hospital and hospital bills. You cannot even take care of your family. You see, all these people who embezzle Nigerian money, all these people who commit all manner of crimes in Nigeria, enrich themselves, they are the ones using you to fight against your own restoration and your own liberation. That is how sad it is. And a lot of people are Sabo Ntikes. Sabo, a lot of our people. And I don't know what is wrong with our people. If you say there is no sit-at-home, are you doing the sit-at-home for me? If you say you don't want to, are you sitting at home for me? You're not sitting at home for me. We are fighting to have a better home. We are fighting to have a better country, where the government will be responsible to you, where the government will take care of you, where the government will take care of your children, take care of their schooling, where when you come out after studying, you have a job, okay? Where you have industries here and there, where you don't have to go abroad to look for greener pastures. Because Biafra will be the best nation on this planet Earth. All the resources that they are siphoning, we are going to use all the resources to better our lives, to take care of Biafra. That is why these people don't want Biafra to come. And that is why we are asking you, don't support those who are destroying your destiny. Don't support Abaribe. Don't support Hope Uzodimma. Don't support Soludo. Don't support Ifeanyi Uba. Don't support the DOS. Don't support Chinasa Nwoshi. Where is Chike Doziem? I ask you. These people have already taken money from the Nigerian government, and that is why they are working with the Nigerian government in order to destroy you. And you are supporting them against your own freedom. So, fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching me all over the world, I want you to really think about what I've just told you. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never be happy in DSS custody. So, why would Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ask you to sit at home? Does it mean that now he is happy, he don't want to come out? Why will Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stop the sit at home while he is suffering in DSS custody? I'm asking you. So anybody who tells you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wrote any letter, tell that person to go and replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. Then there will be no sit at home. Tell that man or woman, either you go or you send your husband or you send your uncle or even send your father to go to the DSS custody and stay there while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Sit at home will automatically stop. But if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still there and you are talking about ending sit at home, something must be wrong with your brain. Because it is only through this civil disobedience that the Nigerian government will be forced to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is no two ways about it. As a matter of fact, our Prime Minister have already given them another clue. If after these 2 weeks sit at home, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released, every civil servant in Biafra land will observe 3 weeks sit at home. Every civil servant in that country called Nigeria from the Biafra territory. And there will be no oil exploitation anymore. Even revenue collection will be stopped. This is how far we can go to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is freed from the detention. There is no two ways about it. It's really unfortunate that some people are buying that idea of stopping the sit at home, while an innocent man in the DSS custody, suffering unjustly. And you are here telling us that, oh, sit at home have been stopped by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And you ask them, why do you think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will stop sit at home? The only civil disobedience, the only weapon that Biafran has to hold the Nigerian government at their jugular, to hold them at a very tight corner, while they are crying, they are losing 10 million naira every Monday. That is why they are crying. They have lost 4 trillion naira in the last 2 months. That is why they are crying. They don't want to be losing more. And you that is sitting at home, you are losing nothing. You can only lose the days you are going to market and you did not go to market. Besides, your goods will still remain for you. The next day you can go to market. And not only that, the right to live so that you can be alive to see Biafra. Because when you go out, the Nigerian government will come to kill you and use you to do propaganda. Send your video online and say that Simon Ekpa or that those who are enforcing sit at home are the ones who killed you, whereas they are the ones responsible for your death. So don't follow them to propagate these lies against the Biafran people. It will never sell. Okay? So Barrister Ejimakor have eaten the forbidden fruit. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor have betrayed the Biafran people. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor have betrayed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Irrespective of all the good works that he has done, the extraordinary rendition cases that he has won for the Biafran people and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he did tremendously well. But unfortunately, at this dying minute, the Nigerian government have to use him, because in Nigeria, you cannot work freely. You as a lawyer, you cannot fight the government and you are working freely without any intimidation. If the government wants you to work for them, you can't work for them at your own will. They have to force you into doing that. And that is actually what they have done to Aloy Ejimakor. That is actually what they did with Aloy Ejimakor. They have threatened him. They have threatened Aloy Ejimakor to play along with them, or else they know what they have threatened him with. And that is why Aloy Ejimakor has been able to make these mistakes that by now he should be regretting. If Aloy Ejimakor was so sensible and have that insanity, and have that sanity of mind, what he should have done, he should have left Nigeria. He should have run for his dear life, other than to betray over 70 million Biafrans who have hopes on him as the only standing legal professional that is following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because every other legal team, including Mike Zokome, all of them are compromised in this struggle. Because you know why? The Nigerian government mapped out $20 million to fight against the Biafran restoration. And it is a very huge money. They can buy anybody buyable. Our leader said it, that they can buy anybody. But he told you that even if they succeed in buying you, that you can never stop the restoration of Biafra. You can never stop it. That should have rang bell in your ears, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. That even if you betray Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or betray the Biafran people, that you can never stop what is coming. You can never stop the restoration of Biafra. So I don't know why you people don't actually reason. You think that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an ordinary being? And let me tell you people, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is aware of everything that is happening. He's aware that Aloy Ejimakor has betrayed him. He is aware that the DOS are no longer on the struggle. He is aware that the Southeast governors and the DOS are working together to destroy the movement. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is equally aware that Simon Ekpa is doing a very wonderful job. He is aware, but he keep you quiet. He don't have to tell you, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a messiah that sees tomorrow. As a matter of fact, you will agree with me that before we got to this stage, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have already prophesied about what to come. He asked you to be strong, that a lot of people will fall by the wayside. Yes, he said it is the time for you to go to your brain and use your brain to do whatever you are doing, because a lot of people will fall by the wayside. He said it. DOS fell by the wayside. Uchemofo fell by the wayside. Chikedozian fell by the wayside. Chinasa Nwoshi has always failed by the wayside a long time ago, not now. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor has already fallen. He is the last one to fall. Ifeanyi Ejiofor fell a long time ago. Ezokome also told the line, because they are all in Nigeria, and there is no way you can stay in Nigeria and fight against the government without the government calling you to order to tell you that you are still in our territory. Anything, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. That is actually what has happened in this liberation. And the Biafran people are so happy with Mazi Simon Ekpa, because our Prime Minister is taking every bold step ahead of them. Our Prime Minister is doing everything humanly possible to make sure that they did not stop this Biafra from coming. They have been trying their possible best. This is the last fight. And the Biafran Liberation Army are doing wonderfully well, because the actions of the Nigerian government was to use Ejimakor on the media, and they used their army to terrorize our people and kill them. Okay, but Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is the commander of the Biafran Liberation Army Eastern Security Network, in the absence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are doing everything humanly possible, protecting our territory, and as well making sure that the Nigerian government pay for the incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that is why you see everywhere is katakata. They are crying, they are shouting, they are wailing. And they are wailing because it is affecting them, because they are receiving it water. That is why they are crying. That is why all their irats are coming out. You can imagine, everyone that have fought against Simon before are all coming out this time. And you ask yourself, why are they coming out now? Just like 2 days ago, you see the 300 or 3,000 teeth talking about the letter from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You see Ejiro talking about the letter from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You see them coming out to castigate Mazi Simon Ekpa. You see them coming out to say, obey Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's letter. And we tell them, okay, you want us to obey the letter from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, right? In the DSS custody, right? Then, first of all, obey the instruction, obey the verdict of the law court in Nigeria. Respect your court order first. You did not respect the court order that released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but you want us to obey the letter that is forged, not even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that wrote it. You want us to obey it, but you did not obey the court order that asked you to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Don't you think it's that possible? And another good thing is that even before now, our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa last year have already told them, we are not going to take order from our leader who is in detention, because any order given by our leader in the detention may be doctored. Our leader cannot give order from the detention because he is under duress. He is not comfortable. Whatever decision our leader is given from the DSS custody may not be to the best interest of the Biafran people. So we are only going to take order from a man who is free and who is not in the DSS custody. It is not today that Mazi Simon Ekpa made that pronouncement, and they are coming out with this letter thinking that, oh, if they say this letter is this, that Biafran people are going to jump up and respect the letter that Barrister Ejimakor and Peter Barr forged to come and impose on Biafran people. How sad is that? Biafrans will not listen to anybody. We will not going to listen to our leader from the DSS custody. So it is quite unfortunate that a lot of Biafrans, and it is only the Sabo Ntikes, Sabo Ntikes are the ones who are sharing that letter, because they have already betrayed a long time ago. The government have now told them, oh, that money will pay you. Will pay you. This is the time for you to come and defend it. Please go online. Tell Biafran that, oh, it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that gave that letter to Ejimakor to send to Biafran people. And that is why every Irat, wherever they are, all of them are coming out to tell you that that letter is from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Some even say it is his handwriting. Some say, oh, they are Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brother. They are Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's sister. They are the chief, how do you say it? Chief executive officer to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All of them are coming out at this particular time, including former deputy of IPOB, Ejimakor, coming out to tell you, oh, obey the letter, obey Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is how sad it is, because Nigerian government is losing. The Biafran Liberation Army are destroying the Nigerian army in Biafran land. And Mazi Simon Ekpa internationally is destroying them. The Biafran Republic government in exile are holding Nigeria at a very strategic point on the world stage. So they don't have any option. It's order to release their attack dogs on media to start coming out to come and attack and say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sent that letter, so that you as a Biafran will stop the fight for your freedom. The fight for your freedom. How can you allow people to come and stop you from fighting for your freedom? Something that will give you good life, something that will give you road, give you industries, give you hospital, give you good schools. I can't imagine people thinking in this angle. How are you going to stop something that will be beneficial to you and your generation? The governors have their children abroad studying. They send money to them. They even have their concubines abroad, everywhere, all around the world. Look at Mba. Mba had a wife. He has to divorce. He has to send his wife packing. I have to carry another Yoruba woman to come and be the SSA to government of Anambra State. They have access to the fund that was used, that is meant for every one of you and I in Biafran territory. They have access to it. You don't have access to it. That is why they will do everything humanly possible to make sure that they protect that their criminal enterprise, where that money is coming out from. And you as a Biafran that is suffering, you don't even have access to 3 square meals a day. Your children are out of school. You don't have employment. You are driving keke. The roads, when accident happen, all of you will die off because the roads are dilapidated. You don't have nice structures. You don't have seaport. You go to Lagos, you clear your goods before you get to the east. They charge you exorbitant prices. You pay custom duties. All these things are the things why we are asking for Biafra. Because when Biafra comes, we have seaport in Biafra land. You don't need to go to Lagos to clear your goods. You don't need to go to Abuja to take international flight or Lagos. Okay? You don't need to go to abroad for medical checkup. You don't need to go abroad for studies. These things are going to be made available to Biafrans at a price that you cannot even imagine. This is why we are fighting. This is why Simon Ekpa is fighting, have devoted his time to fight for you. This is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention today. This is why they are keeping him there, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu vowed that he wants good life for his people. That is why he is still there. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wants something for himself, he would not spend even 6 months in the DSS custody. But because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wants everything good for you and I, that is why they are keeping him there, pressuring him to renounce his stand. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu insists that it is Biafra or nothing. That is why Mazi Simon Ekpa is still standing and telling you that it is Biafra or nothing. And that is why they are doing everything humanly possible to fight, to kill, to harm Mazi Simon Ekpa. But they are not doing everything humanly possible to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The reason why we are sitting at home, that is for you to know that they have an ulterior motive. They have an ulterior motive. They have something that they don't want you to know. And that thing they don't want you to know is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is your savior. They don't want you to know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is your savior. They don't want you to know that Mazi Simon Ekpa is fighting for your good life and that of your children. That is why they have released their attack dogs against Mazi Simon Ekpa, against the Biafran people. This is how sad that it is. But you as a Biafran, instead of you to support those who want your freedom, you are supporting those who are subjugating you. You are supporting your oppressor. When you support the governors, you are supporting your oppressors. When you support DOS, you are supporting your oppressors, because DOS were paid off. We are paid off for this. And that is why, go to Radio Biafra, you cannot see them making any meaningful impact on the world stage concerning the Biafran liberation. And you ask yourself, If actually DOS is working for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and working for the freedom of Biafran people, for the past 2 years that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, what actually have they done that the Nigerian government can write them on the newspaper and say that, oh, the DOS are doing this, the DOS are doing that? No. The only person the Nigerian government is fighting against is Mazi Simon Ekpa. That shows you that Mazi Simon Ekpa is doing something that is really disturbing and destroying their image worldwide. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us that whenever you are doing something and your enemy is crying, increase the tempo of that which you are doing. But when you are doing something and your enemy is praising you, my dear, know that there is no road there. You are actually working for them. That is exactly what Nigerian government are doing with the DOS and the governors. Because Nigerian government will tell you, oh, that the IPOB have cancelled sit at home. They are happy, they are comfortable that IPOB have cancelled sit at home because they are working with the IPOB of DOS. They are not comfortable that, oh, Simon Ekpa is the one in charge and making people to sit at home. They are not comfortable with it. That is why they are sending terrorists to go to Finland and attack Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is why they are killing everybody who wants to come out and speak against the incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and against the restoration, against Nigerian government. Anybody that speaks against Nigerian government, they go after him. Okay, you see what is playing out. Finland, Simon Ekpa. Finland, Simon Ekpa. Oh, they have to extradite Simon Ekpa, and you ask them what is the crime of Simon Ekpa? The only crime of Simon Ekpa is that he's supporting sit at home, and that Simon Ekpa is fighting them in the east. He's fighting their terrorists who have come to destroy our people and take over our land. That is the crime Simon Ekpa has committed. Because they want you to be like Benue, they want you to be like Sokoto, they want you to be like Medugri, they want you to be like Jos, they want you to be like Kaduna. They want every killing that is happening in the north to happen in the southeast. But Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said no, that our people can never be in IDP camps. That is why they are fighting Simon Ekpa. That is why they are fighting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why every genuine Biafra, they are fighting against you. For you to know that whenever your oppressor is fighting against you, know that you are doing the right thing. But when your oppressor is praising you, just like they are praising the DOS, my friend, know that you are actually working for them. There is no two ways about it. So, fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching me from, it's very important that you support the actions and the activities of the Biafran Republic government in exile. Our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa and the genuine Biafrans, they are fighting for your freedom so that you will be free, so that your children can go to nice schools, so that when you finish your school, you can have a good job. You will no longer be a cyclist driving Okada or riding keke napep or going to Yahoo. Or go into Agbero. No, you have a good job, a lucrative job that can put food in your table. That is the reason why Simon Ekpa is fighting to liberate Biafrans from the shackles of slavery. And you don't blame our people. Nigeria has subjugated us for a very long time. That is why people no longer reason with their brain. People now reason with their anus. And it's very unfortunate. And this is the things we are going to stop. Support the Biafran Liberation Army. Support Eastern Security Network. These are the people who are holding sway. Outside them, by now, Benue will be better than Southeast. But today, I can categorically tell you that the terrorists are crying because they are not finding it easy and funny in Biafran territory. And our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa have already warned them seriously. If you come to our land to kill us, you are going to go back in body bags. and no apologies to that. We are Biafrans. We are Umu Chineke, children of Chukwu Okike Abiama. We are the generation that God talked about to restore his kingdom on this planet Earth, so that mankind can be able to live a peaceful life. So your children can be very proud of who you are. You don't expect us to fight for Biafra, and after, our children will continue to fight for Biafra. Biafrans are over 70 million people. There are countries not up to 5 million people. They are governing themselves. So why can't you join hands to fight and liberate yourself from Nigeria, so that you can have a say in the government of your country? Okay? Barrister Aloy Ejimakor have eaten the forbidden fruit, just like Aloy Ejiafo, okay? Just like Ifeanyi Ejiofo, just like the DOS. He has eaten the forbidden fruit. The Nigerian government have suppressed him, have intimidated him into submission, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is why you saw the letter that they said it came from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In Nigeria, every elephant can fly. Nothing is impossible. The lawyers cannot fight judiciously without government interference, especially when you are a lawyer fighting against the government. The government cannot give you free hand to fight against them and win. That is why they have to force Aloy Ejimakor to play along with them. But the Biafran people are wiser. That letter never came from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we can never ever accept that instructions, and can never take instruction from our leader that is in detention until he comes out. Then as a free man, then he can give us instruction and we obey him as our leader. The Southeast governors and political leaders don't want you to leave. They are part and parcel of the Nigerian government that is bringing terrorists to come and kill you and I and take over our communities because of their criminal activities and the funds that is meant for every one of us that they are embezzling and enjoying alone with their families and cronies. That is why you see them issuing statements against the Biafran Republic government in exile and against our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. You see them planning in order to eliminate him or extradite him, because they are part and parcel of the government that is subjugating you and I. So don't listen to them. Support the Biafran cause so that you and your generation will live. Thank you, fellow Biafran, for listening. Once again, let me remind you, the 2 weeks sit at home still continue today. And the reason why we are sitting at home is, number 1, for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Number 2, for a self-referendum that will be conducted by the Biafran Republic government in exile at a later date that will be given to the Biafran people. Number 3, to invalidate the illegitimacy of those who call themselves political leaders from the Southeast, that are Nigerian representatives from the Southeast, to invalidate the legitimacy of their positions. Number 4, to demonstrate that Biafrans are ready to take their destiny in their own hands. And number 5, to tell the whole world, the Nigerian government, that Biafrans have a government that they listen to, which is the Biafran Republic government in exile and the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. These are the reasons. And you are sitting at home so that tomorrow you will have a better future. Our people say that Aronango Erienando. By the time you suffer for today, tomorrow there will be sun, shine for you. It's just like a woman that is heavy of pregnancy. At this 9 months, she will be passing through a lot of pains. But when the 9 months is completed and she got delivered of this baby, she will be happy of the result of that pain, that it is fruitful and not fruitless. So now that Biafrans are passing through a lot of Sacrifices are being paid. You are sitting at home is part of your own contribution for Biafra to come. Your children will be happy that you are part of those who made them to have a good life. So when they say sit at home, you sit at home. It's part of the price that you have to pay for Biafran to come and for you to have your freedom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has lost his parents at the course of this journey. He is still paying prices. He has been in detention for 2 years. It's a price he's paying for you and for me. So why can't you pay that price of sitting at home when it is necessary? But if you say sitting at home you don't want it, please let your husband or your brother or your uncle or any of your relation go and replace Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. Then the sit at home will stop. We want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released unconditionally, and that is why we are doing what we are doing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime. His crime is for asking for the freedom of his people. Asking for your freedom and asking for my freedom. That is not a crime. Okay? Mazi Simon Ekpa is also asking for your freedom and asking for my freedom. I'm fighting to liberate you from the subjugation of the Nigerian government. Over 60 years that we have been subjugated in Nigeria. They no longer want us. They destroy our everything that will make us people. They took over our land. That is the latest. They want to take over our land. After making sure that we don't have industry, we don't have good roads, we don't have good hospital, we don't have light, we don't have seaport, we don't have anything that can generate employment in Biafra land. That was not enough for them. They now want to come and take over our land, ancestral land, and drive us out from our ancestral land. And the bad thing is that your senators, your representatives, your governors, Abaribe and Ndi Beribe, them, all of them are part and parcel of this against you and against I, so that their own children will continue to be the leaders and the rulers of Nigeria, while you and I keep suffering outside the shores of our homeland. That is what we are going to put a stop to. And that stop starts from you and I, by joining hands together to liberate ourselves, joining hands together to fight against this subjugation of the Nigerian state. And Mazi Simon Ekpa has come to finish that job. So it's left for you to join hands with us and make sure that the Nigerian government do not have their way. Thank you so much for joining. I want to really appreciate our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is doing wonderfully well. Okay? And our Defense Minister, Honorable Azuka Charles Nwankwo, the Lioness, Ejimakor, one of Biafra, who is also fantastically helping our Prime Minister to bring Biafra. My Minister of Information, Sonny Akwarawa, I also appreciate you, sir, for what you are doing. Mazi Dream Justice of the Biafran Writers of Conscience, I really appreciate you, sir, and all my fellow comrades who are actually doing one or two things, writing constructively to make sure that we pass the message to the people all around the world. I really appreciate every one of you. Mazi Success, I really appreciate you. I also appreciate Mazi Arizechukwu and every other Biafran who is fighting judiciously to help our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa to restore Biafra in our own time, so that all of us will be proud of our nation Biafra. Thank you so much. And you that is watching, or you that watch later, I thank you so much for sharing and for joining me. Please, I want to appeal to you. It is not only for you to watch me. The only thing you can do for me that will please me is for you to like and share this broadcast, so that other people can as well join and watch and be able to get one or two things from it. We are fighting for a just cause. We are fighting to be free. We are fighting to live. We are fighting to have a nation that we can be proud of, so that we can no longer be running out from our ancestral land. Our motherland is filled with milk and honey. a land of the rising sun, a land that Chukwu Okike Abiama himself had blessed. That is what we are fighting to restore. And there is nothing anybody can do about it. So you have to join us to make this dream come true, because you'll be very proud to be called a Biafran when Biafra comes. Outside that, wherever you are all around the world, your value is diminished as a Biafran where you are. But when Biafra comes, your value will be highly, highly respected all around the world. Thank you so much, fellow Biafrans. My name still remember as David Nana. When next I come your way, have a very blissful day. But remember, the sit at home continues tomorrow. Let us make it a point of duty to listen to the Biafran Republic government in exile. They are the people who know roads and leading us to our liberation and our restoration. And Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to guide and protect the genuine Biafrans. But if you are a Sabo, if you are a blackmailer, if you are those who are antagonizing what we are doing, may the gods of the land visit you and your generation. But if you are fighting a just cause, may the gods of our land protect you and be with you. As I sign out from my location, Ise. Thank you and goodbye.